Hello, I'm Donald Duke, and welcome to this episode of Bridging the Gap. The essence of education is to produce a generation of entrepreneurial and innovative and productive people. And the kernel or the essence of it is the nature or the type of education they receive. The education that makes you think and ask the necessary questions, why or why not? Or should we do this differently? And not trying to regurgitate what has been given to you, but rather trying to see how you can make it better and fit into the society that you operate within. This is where the world is going, and Nigeria should be also going in that direction. Right now, everyone is focused on passing one examination or the other. Maybe that worked 50, 60 years ago. Today it doesn't, because it's a world born of innovation. You know, when you look at the technologies that exist today, you take the phones that can send text messages and send pictures instantly. That's a technology you're not going to find if the questions or why not were not asked, would not have given birth to that technology. So it's born of an inquisitive mind that seeks that. And at the end of the day, when you look at it, perhaps we're in a generation, an age where if you can think it, you can do it. The world as it is going, and this is where it concerns Nigeria, in another 30, 40 years, if we don't innovate, we'll be completely out of the real world. We'll be back to the dark ages, because our primary resource, for instance, oil, would be of hardly any use. You know, there was a time in Nigeria where it took 21 working days to clear a check outside a city. It took 7 days to clear a check within a city, and 21 days, they call it up-country checks. You think of how long the money had stayed idle while it was going through processes. Today it's instant. So society is more dynamic. Society is more reactive to its development. If the rest of the world were having instant transfers of money, and in Nigeria we're still going through the old system, we'll be totally out of the global financial loop. I think one of the most important occupation is teaching. I think that a society that seeks to grow would have to pay a lot of attention to the teaching class. They are the first that need to be trained, that class. And they have to be amply rewarded because it's very personal. Our method of teaching today is absolutely impersonal. You have large classrooms whereby the teacher may not even know the name of all the students. That doesn't work today. The teacher must interface with the student, know the weak from the strong, and know what attention to pay to each one of them, right? So you need a smaller group. The teacher themselves must try to develop the aptitude of each individual. And so the teacher has to be trained to do that and has to be rewarded because it's very personal. What is being given as remuneration to the teaching class will never bring out the best. You know, we should have a society where the first option for anyone is, I want to teach, because you're assured of the basis in life if you go into this profession. And that would attract the best of us to go into that field. And even if you are working in any other profession, you still want to spend some time and impact on others and teach, because teaching is the best form of mentorship. We've got to look at a curriculum, right? The current curriculum for education is really a copy and paste curriculum. So you go to school, you have this set out as geography, history, mathematics, and all that. You absorb everything and regurgitate it at the end of the term or school year. That wouldn't work. That does not equip you going into the future. We've got to ensure that we practicalize whatever we're learning. So there is internship infused into learning. So it's not, if you're studying geography, we should have those excursions that show the features that we studied. For studying a science subject, we not only go to the laboratory, but also go to factories and have the internship. And this is not university level. I'm talking of primary and secondary levels. So if you are studying woodwork as a technical course in JSS 1 or 2, you should go to a wood factory and see what they talk about and see what you can do with it. And at the end of the day, you're producing things. Now, this is not unique. There are certain countries that do this very well. The countries like Germany, China is also adopting, the Japanese and all that, where learning is not just classroom any longer. You are out there in a formal factory environment, seeing what is being done, and also trying to improve even on the process, because they ask you, okay, this is how we do it here. Can you think of how we can do it better? That makes you think. Everyone has a skill that he can apply. And it could be as menial or as humble as gardening, right? Or as lofty as some scientific, generic whatever. But you are skilled. And you can therefore add your own quota or contribute your own quota to the overall development of society. You develop the skill in the areas that you enjoy. And that brings out, and when you enjoy doing something, it's no longer arduous, it's more like joyful activity. But it also brings out the best and we work harder. So for instance, the skill I wanted to develop was music, right? And I have great thrill playing a particular instrument. It's not arduous for me to pick up that instrument and keep on strumming it, if it's a guitar, or blowing if it's a saxophone or a horn instrument. The important thing is I enjoy doing it. If it's gardening, you want to see things grow and you like to see plants come to life and all that. So you've got to identify primarily what the child has a flair for and develop that passion or that flair in the child, because that's where passion comes from. So until we meet next time, get innovative and do things differently and efficiently.